And food, big part of Italian-American culture, right? It is the centerpiece of a Sunday in any Italian household.
Oh, yeah.
And our guest, known as the Scone Queen of New York, was influenced by her Italian heritage, learning to cook from her grandma Rosemary. So please welcome back to the show, chef and founder of the Hungry Gnome, Danielle Sepsy.
We love you.
Hey, guys.
Grandma Rosemary, Grandma
love
Rose.
it,
It's like the rose runs in the families.
I know. And now we finally get to talk about our Italian heritage, Dan.
Which is so great. And if anybody follows you on Instagram, we always hear you talking about your grandmother who taught you so much about cooking. What are some of the things she did teach you?
She was really a spectacular baker. She also did savory cooking, but her baking was really what made her special. And actually, I have her recipe book with us today. So she made so many different cookies, and even she was so crafty and talented with even like gingerbread houses and making all these really amazing over-the-top structures for all the holidays too. So she really taught me so much, and this is an Italian-American staple, and we're celebrating Italian Heritage Month.
Yeah,
as I was saying.
And before we get to the big sweet treat, what we're going to learn to make today, just talk about like the Sunday dinners, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're huge in Italian American culture, and it's really not only about the food, but just bringing everybody to a table, being loud, and wines flowing.
Every Sunday, I was lucky enough to have both sets of grandparents live near my family, so we all came together at one of their houses, either my mom's parents or my dad's, and we would have a big Sunday dinner. Meatballs, the sauce, the pasta, then the other course, right? You always have to ask what else, because there's gonna be roast beef, potatoes, you know, asparagus, whatever. And it's so funny, my husband is not Italian, and he learned that quickly because he wolfed down multiple bowls of the pasta, and then my grandma's, you know, shoveling meat out his plate. I'm extremely full, and she's like, no. She says her thing is force yourself. Force yourself. There's always room for a little more.
Well, there's always room for dessert.
You gotta save room for dessert.
Cookies, for sure. So what are we making today?
So we're making pignoli cookies. Pignoli is pine nuts. And these are really an Italian-American staple, something you always find in an Italian bakery. And you know what? Sometimes they can be a little costly because of the pine nuts. But if you make them at home, it's really not so bad. And now you can get at Costco, Trader Joe's, big bags of the pine nuts for a lot less money. So highly recommend trying that out.
So this is Grandma Rosemary's recipe,
This is her recipe from her book.
All right, so what do we got?
We've got egg whites. And then we have almond paste, which comes in either a tube or a block. And I really like the block one. I always think that the flavor of this brand is really, really great.
I've always bought the one in the tube, but now I'm going to buy the block.
Yes, and this is 8 ounces, and I love this recipe because it's you just put the whole box in.
Why is that better?
I just think texturally it's a little bit better. I think when it's larger, it's a little bit moister. So I really, really like it.
All right.
So we're just going to blend this.
Now, I love about Italian cooking, too, like my Grandma Rose. I wanted to learn how to make her Sunday gravy. And she's telling me the recipe, there's no recipe. She's just like, okay, just throw this in the bottle of wine and blah, blah, blah. Just, you know, not the whole bottle.
Your grandma was too?
It was, and in fact, in this recipe book, there are so many recipes that have, you know, things crossed out, and like maybe this, maybe that, a little pinch. I'm like, okay, so what I do is I then remake them and then write things down as I go. And I was lucky enough, you know, when she was still with us, I would work with her, you know, every holiday making all the cookies, and I would jot down everything she did. I would take stuff out of the bowl, remeasure it, because, you know, we didn't know exactly what she was doing. So now we have white sugar and confectioner sugar. And this was her trick. And the confectioner sugar makes it a little bit softer and more tender. You get that crisp edge, but also that really, really nice, kind of almost creamy, chewy, tender center.
Oh, I love that.
So that's her little secret. Not a lot of people do that. So, and she was big with, she really used a lot of confectioner sugar. Even her pie dough, she used confectioner sugar instead of granulated sugar. And it makes sense because you don't get those harsh granules in your dough.
That's actually a really good secret. Okay, what else you got? Because we're
now we've got vanilla extract, a little pinch of salt, and then just a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And these are mostly things you have in your pantry, except for that, maybe that almond paste, but really not a lot of ingredients.
And how many cookies does this actually make?
This should make about 15 cookies.
Okay.
And then during the holidays, of course, we will quadruple this or more. And so once you have this nice homogeneous mixture, we take a cookie scoop.
So the whole thing with the mixture, because this is where I think I go wrong. You don't have to get it so it's like super smooth.
So the thing is, when you have any sort of a flour that contains gluten, the more you mix, the more the gluten develops, and then it becomes tougher or breadier. So once you add that dry mix, you want to make sure it's just incorporated, but you don't want to go overboard.
That's where I go wrong.
Less is more.
Okay.
Now
And
you
then
just take
drop it in
this,
there?
yep, right in, and then we roll it in the pine nuts.
Right,
And this is a very sticky dough, but that also tells you it's going to be nice and
You're
tender
using
inside.
this. I always just use my hand, but this is.
Oh, I use
I
the
mean, you could do that
scooper.
too, but the scoop is so helpful.
Then it makes
this,
all the
huh?
cookies the same
Yeah,
size.
and then once you scoop them up, you can just place them on your
Okay,
tray.
and then you can eat
They don't
them.
spread too much, and then you can eat them.
'Cause that's what I wanna do.
Super chewy on the inside.
Oh my gosh, look
See
at
that? It's like that beautiful.
Oh, Danielle, with the break. Hold on. Hold on.
Look at this. Can you tell we do Instagram?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And it's nutty. The
Delicious.
pine nuts toast in the oven. It's buttery. It's just
It's
the best,
perfect.
right?
It's
Listen.
perfect.
So
Here's the thing I go wrong. I just got cookie dough in your hand.
that's all
I'm
right.
so
It's,
sorry.
That's
listen,
where it goes
I'm
on.
going to my bakery after this. There will be a lot more where that came from.
How do you make sure that you get that consistency? Tell me about the cooking in the oven real quick.
Yeah.
Because I think I also
What's the
overcook
temperature?
it.
So I cook it on 325,
Okay.
so it's kind of a little slow and low.
Yeah.
And this actually bakes for 20 to 25 minutes, a little bit longer than you'd anticipate, but we just want that golden edge. The top is still fairly white
Yeah.
on the inside, so you don't want to go overboard. But
Yeah.
some people like it crispier, so
I
you can
don't.
take it
Well, that's not-
further.
the pignoli is supposed to
Yeah,
be
you
soft.
need that too. I want to still feel that almond paste texture a little
Right.
bit.
This is delicious. So the big question is,
Yes.
will this recipe be included in the new cookbook that
Oh,
you're
yeah.
working on right now?
Yes, so I just announced my cookbook deal with Knopf Publishers,
Awesome.
and you have to wait a little bit. It's
Yeah.
coming out fall 2025, but
things
I've
in
been
life are
working
worth the
hard.
wait.
Exactly, I promise it'll be worth the wait. And I have to say, we're gonna be putting the secret scone recipe
Ah.
and the cinnamon buns and things that people have been waiting for years are gonna be in this book. So
Okay,
it'll
Danielle.
be worth the wait.
We love you, as
But
always.
you have a
okay?
magic touch, though. I don't know. if we
Check
could do
her out,
it.
everybody. Check out her on Instagram, Hungry Gnome. Buy her products. They are amazing. I'm not just saying that either.
She's a magician.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, so that is. Thanks so again for coming in and helping us celebrate Italian American
pleasure.
Heritage
Yeah.
Month. We couldn't stop
I'll
talking
see you
about
Sunday.
you.
Sunday,
I'll see you
Sunday
Sunday.
sauce, all right?
Everybody get
Sauce or
together,
gravy?
eat. You know, I say sauce, but my grandma says gravy. And then when you have like a meat gravy, we say brown gravy. You have to like
see, it's a whole
specify.
thing.
It's
so
a whole
many
thing.
different things.